republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's good. You're okay? Minutes of the previous meeting, review and approval. Everybody had a chance?
I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
Okay, Jane, Randy, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? What do we got, 6 of us here? 6-0. No, 5-0, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking at 2 empty chairs there, okay. Bill list, review, Michelle Kogowski. Hi, Frank.
I'll add to the motion that when a bill comes from American Legion, you give the authority to the treasurer to pay it. He was supposed to bring it tonight, he didn't bring it. The $5,600 I sold to Armstrong.
Is it done finally?
Yeah, it's done finally. That's what he says.
Can't complain, I mean, you donated the labor, so.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It is
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Randy's got a motion on the treasurer's report. Need a second? Frank, second? Okay. All in favor? Aye.
Aye, thank you.
Nays, abstentions, 5-0 in favor. Mayor's report, please. Fred? Okay, Fred.
Okay. The report for January. Disabled vehicles, we had 1. We assisted other agencies, and there was 2. 1 harassment, 1 motor vehicle accident, and 1 noise complaint disturbance. And an assist for motorists, there was 2. Suspicious persons to read that we were on. Suspicious vehicles, 2. And verbal warnings, traffic was 2. Written warnings, 1. And traffic cites were 2. With 13 investigations ongoing. And there was 34 incidents there for the month. 34.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gave this to the mayor, and then he signed it, and he wanted me to bring it up. It's a traffic services grant proposal for traffic, for traffic patrols. The grant will allot monies to our department for roving patrols on roads. Okay, so it comes from the grant. The town, or borough, I should say, pays the hours, and then the grant sends a check directly to the borough.
Okay.
Okay.
So, okay.
For those hours.
To take care of those hours.
Right.
For this grant.
For the grant, it's all straight time. There's no overtime that's paid, so they only will pay straight time. So it's got to be a regular shift.
Right. Okay.
And they'll pay it. And it's just the officers that work that shift. So whatever's coordinated through the region, which is going to be coordinated through the DA's office, will hit each different town and do patrol, whatever that gets paid out of that grant.
Okay. So if there's overtime, they'll just replace the regular time.
Regular time.
Okay.
The overtime will have to come from the borough.
Right.
Have to take care of that.
Okay.
But it's all straight time, and that's all they'll pay. So of course, that's all we're going to work.
Yeah.
If that's all they pay.
How long will that go on for? Is it?
Till September.
Till
To
September.
the end of September. And they could extend
Okay.
it.
To get
Yep.
accepted for the grant too.
Yeah, they could
Okay. Then it
extend
would
it.
start and go on
Yep.
until whenever they shut the grant
Shut it down.
Okay.
Okay, so what it looks like, once we get approved, it'll go right through to September. And if they extend it from September, it'll go again on. We won't know how many months from there, but now we know.
Yeah, it would be some help for us financially for the department
Yeah, because
if we get the grant.
it's
How much?
free money.
Yeah.
It's free money.
Yeah, is there like a cap per month or?
No,
No?
no.
So you can work 7 days and still get?
Yeah, whatever how should I put it? Whatever the coordinated regional patrol is, that's what we'll be able to work with. Yep. And we discussed it at the the chief's meeting last Tuesday with the DA, and Honesdale's involved, Holly's involved, Lehigh's involved, along with us. There's only 4 departments anyway.
That was the same with the way it was set up by the DA last time.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But it's just like this, it's just like the drug task force department.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jane has a concern.
I just wondered, it's being applied for through the DA's office?
Yep.
Do we have to have a motion or something that we approve this?
Yes, and approval through the council. The mayor did sign as the elected official, but it needs to be approved, and the treasurer needs to sign it because that's the person getting the checks, keeping track of the money's coming in.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any questions?
Chief, that's just for our borough. You're not going to different boroughs and helping them, are you? You said roving patrols. Does that mean you're going to different boroughs?
They may be, yes.
Okay.
They may be, yes.
So you
But
might go to Honesdale one time. And
They
might
come here.
They might
Oh,
be.
yep, they come here. We'll go to Holly,
Oh, okay.
but it's still paid those hours by that grant.
Well, that's a lot better, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot better. I'm
Yeah.
glad to hear that.
It's gonna be paid by the grant.
Okay.
Just like the drug task force program is. If we go anywhere, like Equinox or Big Bass or whatever, and that's overtime now. The borough pays it, but the check comes back from that drug task force program. Okay?
Okay. All right, anybody else?
So we need a motion?
Yeah, we'll take a
Yeah, no.
motion on that then. How do we sum it up? It's in regards to,
The
What
traffic service grant proposal.
traffic service grant proposal. Okay.
That's what's on there, yeah.
I'll make a motion to go to, huh? Yeah, participate, with the police department, getting funded by, Honesdale commissioners, or who's funding the?
It's through the Cumberland Regional, yeah.
Okay, Commonwealth Regional, and it's effective or, by September or
It'll be effective before September.
before September, and that's when it'll come up to make another decision if they.
Well, they extended after
Okay,
September,
okay.
after September, but so far we're good up till then.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and we got a second. Heather, did you need anything else on there?
Yep, I got it.
I'll give her a copy of it anyway.
Okay,
Yeah, and
that's
you have your,
perfect.
yeah, never mind, yep, do that, yep.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Noes? Abstentions? 5-0 in favor of. Thank you. Yep, thank you.
I'll give her a whole copy of it
Okay,
later.
Thank
all
you.
right, thank you. Yep. Zoning report, did we get anything from the zoning people at all? or-
Mayor's report.
No, you know, I did, I did only because I didn't know. Okay, well, the mayor has another thing that he wants to touch base on.
I received a email from U.S. Congressman Matt Cartwright, who is having a meeting. It's called Community Improvement and Empowerment, concerning the Appalachian Regional Commission funds for the area development. It's in Tannersville. It's February 22nd from 6 to 8 p.m. Anyone is welcome to go who's an official. And you can respond to his email, cartwright@mail-house.gov. And it's a 2-hour meeting. I'll have refreshments and business casual attire.
Appalachian Regional
Appalachian.
Commission? I will go if somebody will go with me, but I don't like to drive through those woods by myself.
What
At
is
that
the
time of
date
night.
again?
The date is February 22nd, 6 to 8 p.m. And it's on 2411 Route 715, Keystone Building Community Room, 202 A and B, Tannersville, PA. Okay?
Yep, anything else, sir?
Yeah, I have one more thing. The sewer authority would like their electronic equipment that was on the borough garage returned. They'll use it in the plant, and that's the cameras and the monitor or whatever else. that camera company took, they would like it back. When I found out, they put it up and it's theirs.
All right, that's no big deal, then, right?
We hope.
Yeah, that's good. We hope that the company still has them, but anyway, yeah, probably.
Mr. President, on that, can you call them, Craig? And
I was just gonna ask before you did he
they're
get
gonna
back to
come,
you?
they're gonna come here tomorrow.
Okay,
So
good.
maybe they can bring them here and drop them off tomorrow.
I'll email him right now.
And they can we can just walk them in here and they can take them.
You know,
All right.
you know, if they get here and I'll take them over.
Yeah, because tomorrow we're gonna put the cameras on the outside.
And
There's a broken camera at the shed too. At the salt shed that he needs to look at. I told him, but just remind him when he comes.
Okay.
But,
A new one already?
yeah, can you let him in over there?
Like, did somebody break it?
Huh?
Did somebody break it, or?
No, it's down.
Yeah, let me know.
Leroy texted me, emailed me last week, said it was down. I passed it on to Joe, but I don't know. He said he'll do it, but just to remind him if you could.
Okay, I'll remind them tomorrow morning. They'll be here bright and early.
You'll be
Supposed
here
to be
when?
in the morning.
Yeah, 7:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, he likes to come early.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let me know.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yep.
Yep.
Thanks, chief.
Solicitors report, Attorney Christopher Farrell.
Mr. Farrell has nothing to report.
All righty. Correspondence review.
Yes, I have a couple of different things. So, here's your letter. Addressed to the Borough Council. On January 11th, 2023, around noon, my mailbox was run over by a large truck, which proceeded to drive off as they tried to turn around in my driveway, leaving the mailbox post street sign at a 45-degree angle. After making a request for help from neighbors and passersby, I was able to identify the party who did it. At that point, I contacted the Waymart PD and spoke with Harry Schaefer. I told him that I just wanted to get my mailbox back to condition it was in and not take any action. He took the information I provided him and he contacted the party who did the damage. He worked with them and they were able to get my sign and mailbox operational again within a week with no cost to me. I just want to thank Harry for his work in getting my situation straightened out and his outstanding dedication to the citizens of Waymart. Sincerely, Wayne Maycheck.
Awesome.
That-
Always like to hear good news.
Yep,
Yeah, and that was twisted a little bit from
Yeah,
the stuff
that
that got
was
in there a
twisted.
little bit, so.
Would you make a copy so I can give it to Harry?
sure will. We received the 2023 meeting notices from the Wayne Economic Development Corporation. So these are dates. The annual meeting is Thursday, May 18th at the Bryn Mawr Conference Center. These are dates through the year. August, November, and a director's meeting. So I will post this back by the computer if anybody's interested in that. A letter from the Pennsylvania Route 6 Alliance in partnership with Pocono Forest and Water Conservation Landscape is applying for a Keystone Communities grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development and a Pennsylvania Department of Conservation and National Resources to fund a facade improvement program in Wayne and Pike counties. Through the program, the Alliance will provide funding to commercial building owners, business owners, and nonprofits from within the targeted county for building facade restoration projects. Eligible improvements include, but are not limited to, signage, professional design assistance, exterior painting, and awning repair or replacement. Improvements do not need to be costly to greatly improve the facade of the building and make a lasting impact on the community. Grant awards may be up to $5,000 per property and will require a 1-to-1 private match. It is our hope we will fund a minimum of 20 projects. So they're asking for support. There's a letter here asking for our support by March 15th, and that we encourage our local commercial property owners, business owners, and stakeholders to attend the meetings and apply for this. And that's Candace Hillard, Executive Director. So they want us to return a letter of support. So that's
I already
something-
did it.
You did it already.
Yeah, I already did it.
All right. Well, there you go.
Okay, good enough.
I'm going to email, Anthony from NEIC. There was a request for signage for J&J trailer, on 136 Belmont Street. They just wanna know the appropriate, what they need to do. I know, he didn't say turnpike though, but
No, he
Jane
didn't.
corrected me. Turnpike. So then we have, the BLS responses for the Waymart Borough. In January, there were 70 dispatches, 66 responses, and 22 calls here in Waymart, with one going to mutual aid. So,
Thank you,
I think
Heather.
that's everything.
Okay, we're gonna jump to our guest, Dave Murray, and he's gonna give us an update on our insurance policies.
Thank you for having me. As most of you know, my name is David Murray. I'm with the Barco Insurance Agency, no relation to Jane, down here on Belmont Street, across from the Wayne Bank. We are the providers, the insurance agents for the insurance for the borough of Waymart. I do have copies if you want to pass them around. I usually come every year, but because of COVID, I haven't been here in a little while. So welcome to, good to be back with everybody again.
Yes, that's a good thing.
I'm not related, but my father started.
1930, right?
Yes.
We're gonna see what it is. 1930 was the year it started.
Yep.
Yep. We are the second oldest insurance agency in Wayne County.
Oh, really?
Only
Who's the
behind
oldest?
Skyers.
Oh, Skyers.
1928.
Oh.
Yep. So there you be. Our insurance for the borough is through the Department Association, Pennsylvania Intergovernmental Risk Management Association. Every township surrounding Waymart is involved with the same company, so we're all with them. Most of them in Wayne County are with the Pennsylvania Intergovernmental Risk Management Association. It's a government pool, and only boroughs and townships and cities can buy the insurance for them. Nobody else can. It's just like the sewer company has their own association, and so not many people want to insure governments. So we're going to start at the second, where it says number 1. We're not going to talk about the first part yet. That'll be later on. But it says number 1, 128 South Street, which is the building we're in here. This building here is insured for $333,984,000.
Wow.
In the last year, the prices of building materials and labor has gone up exponentially. So our values, even on your homeowner's policies, you'll know are going up dramatically. Because there is a clause in everybody's insurance policy that says you have to insure for 80% of your insurable rate interest. Because if you don't at the time, then you can get a consequence at a time of loss, take a penalty. So we have $333,000 on this building. We also have $90,000 of contents, which there'll be more later on. We'll come back to that with a $1,000 reduction. We also insure next door, the building 118 South Street. It's the museum for $378,000. All these buildings are on replacement cost contents. There is no coverage on the contents. We don't own the contents of the museum, we as the borough, so there's no coverage for that. That is carried by the museum. The museum also has their own liability policy in addition to so
If it burns down, that would be the end.
if that would burn down, the borough would get $378,000, and then they'd have to have a meeting with the entity of the museum and figure out what to do.
Well, all of the artifacts would be gone, so
Yeah.
that would be the end.
That would be the end of that, yeah. Well, anyway, that's what that is. The other thing we have insured next door is we have the train pavilion at 118 South Street. We have that insured for $65,000. A couple of years ago, we did have a tree limb come down on top of that pavilion, and had to address that. We don't have anything underneath it insured, so that also is the museum's problem if something happens there. We just insure the building. The next thing we have on there is this 1 Railroad Avenue, which you guys say, well, what do we have at 1 Railroad Avenue? It's the shed at the R.D. Wilson School Field. R.D. Wilson Field, not the school field. So that little red shed that had they have a concession stand, and we as a borough, it's our land, and so we insure that. But the Little League built it, but who knows what's going on with them right now. But anyway, so it is, we insure the building, that's all we insure, and we have $5,000 of contents, because at one time we did keep some weed whackers and stuff in there, but I don't think we're doing it anymore, but we did. The next thing we have in there is we have number 3 is at 2 Railroad Avenue, which is the garage where Earl works out of, and the police have their cars parked. We have that insured for $257,000 with $5,000 of contents. The next page, we insure a lot of weird things we're required to, is on the corner of South Street and Belmont Street, we insure the town clock. We've had vandalism in the past on that, and we own it, and when somebody runs into it, or somebody says, well, who owns that? Who's responsible for paying for it? Inevitably, we are, because whoever hits it usually doesn't have insurance. So we do insure that, and that's $15,000. You say, how do you get up to $15,000 when we put it in was $5,000? But inflation, there again, is where that comes from. The other thing we insure is the traffic light at the end of Belmont Street and South Street, which is, you say, it's $218,000. Now, Randy used to be on Parks and Roads, I don't know if you still are, but whoever's on roads needs to check the value of that light with the people that, who you used to call and get the value.
Marching, I think it is.
Who was it, Beta used to call?
Yeah.
The car check, to make sure that's correct, 'cause we as insurance agents don't really know anything about that.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we
Shane Bailey is our roads guy.
So we need to make sure that value is correct.
But that's not the right address though.
That's Route 6. in
Well, it's a corner of South and Belmont. That's
This
what
is South Street we're on right now.
Yeah, I guess you're right, that is one, we'll get that fixed.
So it's Route 6.
It's
I'm
Route
very
6.
confused.
Good catch.
Where is there a light? I'm telling
Yeah, it's not, it's a good catch, that's a tight,
Since we only have one light,
we'll
isn't
get
it?
that corrected. But that's, yeah, it's the one on Route 6.
What do we miss?
And it did get hit a couple of years ago,
Yes.
but the guy that had it was a tractor trailer and he actually had insurance, so they took care of it, which is good. A lot of times, they don't have enough insurance because they might have $15,000 only of insurance on their liability policy, and that doesn't cover the light. So, yeah, so that's why we have that. Then we also insure the Veterans Monument out there for $14,575. You say, why do we insure that? Usually sometimes there's vandalisms on the monuments, and again, we say, well, how come?
You know, the gazebo out there was vandalized a lot over the years, and if we, well, I don't know, the deductible being
It's
$1,000.
we probably wouldn't recommend not insuring it, you can, but we probably recommend, you wanna,
I don't even think it's hardly anything
Well-
is left that's original.
well,
We've had to replace so many stuff,
uh,
the spindles and everything else, it's the floor.
We're 28 years old.
the next thing on the next page is we insure the ambulance building that Cottage Cove uses for $261,000. We do not insure anything in there at all. So, and we have not gotten a certificate of insurance from the ambulance in 3 years.
Oh, okay.
We've been after them, we can't seem to get it. So if any here was ever in charge of
I'll work on it.
buildings or maintenance or whatever, we need to get a certificate of insurance naming the borough as an additional insurer.
Okay.
If they have an act, somebody slips, one of their employees slips or whatever, we don't want them suing us, we go back after their own people. So, we've tried, but letters only do so much.
Hey, this Veterans Monument, I know where that is, but does that also cover the one with the names in?
Yeah, that's all part of
All
it,
one?
yeah, yeah, so, yeah. And when we originally put it on there, I think it was at $6,000, so it's going up in value. The last page is those things that were listed on the front, they're actually broken out here. We have $20,000 of miscellaneous tools and equipment. That would be the little tractor Mr. Vinton rides around in town and mows with, or the little snow blower that he moves around with, or the tools. It's hard to, that's not really contents because they move out of the buildings, so you need to have miscellaneous coverage for that type of stuff. And the police radios. Many years ago we had a claim for a lost police radio. They're the things you don't think about. Or the guns they carry, or miscellaneous tools and property, because they're not in the building, so they're the kind of the weird things that come up.
With that deductible at $1,000, and I know you said you were gonna talk over that, but some of this stuff seems like it's not gonna get covered only because
That has
of
a
the lower.
$75 reduction.
The what now?
That has a $75.
Oh, that one is
Because
70.
we did have a radio claim, I don't know, when Shippey was president 20 years ago. They got misplaced or lost or so on, so that does. This other thing we have on there is the backhoe. We have that insured for $60,000 now. I'm not so sure if that's worth $60,000 anymore. That's what it was when we bought it. So whoever is in charge of that department probably should check on the value of that. Because we're not going to pay you replacement cost on a tractor or a backhoe. We pay you probably pay that for $60,000. So it's probably it's probably worth 30, well, maybe, I don't know what the value of that stuff is after, so. You might want somebody to check on the
Do you
value.
remember, Shelley, how much it was? It was so long ago, I don't
Well, we
remember.
paid 60, that's how we come up with
Oh.
the 60, but it probably is not worth that, because we do not pay a replacement cost, we pay actual, it's like good car, we depreciate it.
Okay.
So you may want to check on that. And the other thing they add into there is, it doesn't really apply to us, but they do add it into the policies, lease and renting equipment for $250,000. So a lot of bigger towns might rent a street sweeper in the summer, and that would cover that when they rent it. We don't get into that, but that's why they put it in the policy, you know, so that's why that's there. So that's the property section. The next is real quick is the 3 vehicles we insure. We insure the 2 police explorers and Ford F-550, which is the truck that Mr. Brown drives. They have comp and collision at $500. And they are also on they pay the same way your car policy does, actual depreciated value. So if somebody were to steal it, we're going to pay you what it's worth, not what you paid for it. So that's what kind of play there. We used to switch them out more often, but we've had them on there a long time. Had a lot of miles on them, but not everything. The next page is actually the liability section. If you get, there's an awful lot of stuff here, and I won't get into the minutia. We have $10 million of legal liability for automobiles and for everything else. So we have $10 million of liability. We have uninsured motorists and underinsured motorists at $100,000. Medical expense, $100,000. Work loss, funeral benefits, accidental death on the automobile section. The next is the legal liability for general liability claims, $10 million. Underneath that is all the minutia that they do give you, and the new one they did add a couple years ago, which is very important, and they told me to make sure I mention it, is the cyber liability claim. That is a very, it's a claim that's happening more and more, especially in places, bigger municipalities and townships. But that would pay cyber crime, cyber liability, breach of personal information. If your employees' social security numbers, date of birth from the treasurer's office maybe, or even if they into the computers and they get stuff into here that maybe have confidential information that shouldn't be shared, specifically maybe the police department, they get into their police, with stuff about arrests and confidentiality stuff, the backgrounds and that kind of stuff that they may have. They get that out, that could be bothersome. So the one thing they did want me to remind you about is, if you're doing borough work, do not use your personal emails because it won't be covered under your personal emails. So you should use the borough email address, okay? And if you can, use the borough computer, especially if it's confidential information. If it's just an email saying, we're gonna meet at 10 o'clock, that's fine. But if it's personal information, especially police department or employee information, pretty important to use a more secure email, a secure computer, and make sure it's a borough.
Is it all right that I send the stuff up here and then send it out from here?
Now you've moved it from there to there.
I know,
You
but
you probably,
it's too cold.
I'm not gonna tell you
Rain's
no,
here.
but you probably do the USB and put on the USB and bring it up or whatever. But just make sure that you're trying to keep things as accurate and secure as you can. It's encrypted, and that's what most businesses are going to, are encrypted.
Even if it's like just a Gmail, because the borough is just a Gmail.
I would probably look into something, I'm not a computer person, but I would make sure you should have a Waymart borough.
Like the borough itself is.
Yeah, we have our own, we have cityinsurance.com, and it's
Right.
encrypted, and I can encrypt it or I cannot, it depends on what I'm sending, or just say, meet me at 10 o'clock, I don't encrypt it.
Right.
But if you're sending, maybe grant requests with personal information, well, it's all public information, but especially if it's employees, probably more important for Shelley than anybody, and maybe you with the meeting information, or with the stuff that you're transmitting. That's pretty important, the stuff about security, cameras not working, okay, no big deal, but, you're opening yourself by using your personal, and then all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't use my personal, but the boroughs itself is set up as a Gmail.
Right.
So,
You might have somebody more,
okay.
a little more, maybe the county could help you on that too, I don't
Okay.
know, but, so it's really, here it's probably not as big, but it is everyday stuff that's happening. They little companies are getting hacked all the time, so what's the big deal? Well, all of a sudden now, if somebody's social security number gets out, then you as an organization have to provide 2 years of social security monitoring for that person. You have to do it, you're on the hook for it, it's the law. And so if you had more than one employee and you did 3 or 4, thankfully your policy will pay that, that is in here in this. But you're required to do that, and you have to then post the information and send letters out to everybody that was infected, and you have to do it within so many days, and I mean, there's a whole thing involved in there, it's not just the rules. And this policy will respond to do it, so if you did have one, the first thing you do is call me, and they have somebody that takes care of that for you, and they have lawyers and all that type of a thing. But you want to take measures to mitigate that stuff. I'm sure most of you people don't have that kind of information, but probably Shelly probably that I think will have, because she has the employees and the payroll and that kind of stuff. So, just so you know. Fireman training activities would be back up to their primary policy. The next thing on the next page there would be public officials' wrongful acts. We had one of those claims a couple of years ago with cut somebody's trees down wrong or something. Anyway, you make mistakes. We're human, we're errors. That's it was an error, an omission. We didn't do things right. That's where that comes from.
We admitted nothing.
No, we didn't admit anything. We just paid it. Legal liability for law enforcement claims. So we have liability for wrongful arrests and all that kind of stuff you see on TV for the police department. And then that's about it. And that's all we have. The only other thing we have that's not on here is we do have work comp through the state for the employees. So that's based every year on, we provide secondary, we provide primary for the employees, the police department, and we provide secondary for the firemen and for ambulance if they would be volunteer work, which they aren't, but they will be. And that renews every January. You did pay that already. That's done. We took care of that. I don't know if you paid it in December or January, but it is done. It did go up $800 this year. It's actually a pretty low increase compared to most people. I think it was about $17,000 a year. So where we're at? Any questions?
What about that $1,000 deductible that you said you wanted to talk about, or didn't?
Oh, no, these things are up top. I did talk about them. They were the $60,000 of miscellaneous tools, and the thing, I came back around to that. They listed it up top, but it was also listed in the inside.
Okay.
So they're the things, a couple of those things that whoever's departments to follow up on the light, especially out there, and the light in the back.
I'll get the details.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep. Oh, I get one more thing for you.
Okay,
Budget
budget.
secretary person. Your policies and your ideas.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, committee reports, budget and finance, I have nothing. Shane Bailey is absent.
He did text, I'm sorry.
Did he text you?
Right
Okay.
as we were doing the pledge, his little ones are sick. He had to
Oh,
pick them
okay.
up,
Okay.
and his little ones are sick.
Okay, so Shane is excused.
Can I just say,
Right ahead.
sitting here, trying to make good use of my time, looking at the borough code, we have a provision now, if somebody has a good reason, like they're home with a sick child or an elderly person, or they're sick, they can still participate by video.
Okay.
So Zoom,
And Darren has COVID again, right?
I think so, yeah. Okay, all right, well then we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go with Park and Recreation. Craig Spiegel.
Not Parks and Recreation, but talked to Mr. Phillips today, or a
Oh,
couple
okay.
weeks ago.
Right,
He's tearing down he's tearing down his house, he's putting up a modular. I put him in contact with any, I asked for permits, zoning and stuff, so I followed up with him last week. He said he's in contact with them and he's in the process of getting his permits and gonna demo it this month in March and, got the modular order. He wanted to put in a whole new foundation, because I guess part of that is stone. And he really shouldn't, because if he changes it, he has to have existing footing. His grandfather in, because of the right of way, it's so close there. So I don't know where he's at with that. That was my recommendation. So he's moving forward. I see the backhoe's up there now, so he's in his new house. Supposed to meet with the baseball council, but people were sick, so we canceled that. I did get, information from Joe Weber, or Joe July. I put that all in your mailboxes.
Okay.
Sports complex. From what Joe explained to me, the silver package that's listed there, all of those criteria have to be met to use that $215,000 grant that we have,
Okay,
which,
okay, so we have a grant of 215 too,
right,
okay.
but to do that grant, you need $539,000.
Oh,
So you're in the hole, $200-some thousand.
yeah, that's not too bad.
So, not too bad, yeah. So, that grant expires, we put an extension in, that grant expires at the end of this year.
Okay.
And after that, I guess that's it, can't extend it no more, so.
And I don't think we're gonna use that grant, right?
Huh?
If we got the grant, we can't use
We
it
can't use it
because of the cost of the
we can't-
overall project.
we can't meet all
You'll
those
have to do what it
criteria.
says in the grant.
Yes, and that was the problem right along, right,
Right,
Shane?
right.
Yeah, okay.
Now, the numbers that are on these sheets of paper for you, he did add 30% to them from the original bid because of inflation.
Okay.
And just the outrageous cost of material, so
Mhm.
more than likely, if we don't get that big grant that you guys put in for, we're gonna have to
And
give
we
back
still
that
haven't heard.
215.
We're gonna have to what?
Give back that 215, because we can't use it to,
Right.
we can't accomplish everything that we need to accomplish with 215,000.
We have 160 some thousand in goods and services, labor and materials, I believe, James, you.
Well, we have, the problem is that all those people that gave money, like Brundage and Grimm and, you know, all the different people in Waymart that gave money, we're gonna have to ask them if we can use it for another purpose.
Same purpose.
Well, yeah, same
And then
purpose
we're
in
just gonna have to
theory,
do what we can with it and then
but,
move on from there.
yeah, it,
Well,
let's
his
not
light pack,
cross that bridge until we get through.
this electric package that he has is 240,000. So, and we have 163,000 in the bank from our donations and everything else, so we're gonna meet, try to trim that budget, what we can to get it down, because we're still being the whole $76,000.
Okay.
That's a lot of
Oh,
trimming. The
okay.
price of conduit's outrageous, price of electric wires
Yeah,
outrageous,
the
so.
field needs drainage, but that, what is
That ain't
drainage?
gonna happen, because we ain't gonna have enough money.
We're not gonna have, no, that's what my point is then.
We're not gonna have enough, maybe just enough to put the lights in, that was the original plan.
Yeah.
You know, so if they don't get that grant, it's not happening.
Okay.
What else?
Unless you, of course, two things, finance it or go for a bond. That would be the other.
You know, the other
We're
options.
talking about
yeah,
long-term
yeah.
financing.
I am not financing $500,000 for a baseball field.
No, we're not talking about $500,000 though, so you stop that right there, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna start it with whatever we can, if we can. And then every year or every other year, we'll look and see if we have money available, or maybe something else will pop up in the community, more people will wanna throw some money in, and then we'll put dugouts in after that.
Yeah.
If we could do the lights, or the field, whatever, the drainage, because there's rocks in there, it's up and down, it stays wet really for a long time in the spring before they get on it. If we could just do those things, if it's possible, or close, you know?
Problem, I mean, it's not gonna be both, it's gonna be one or the other.
Yeah, it's gonna be the drainage or the lights, or the
Yeah,
lights.
that's why I'm looking at just the
You have to
numbers.
do the drainage first.
Right.
You have to decide what has to be done 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, that's.
And that's what
And
I've
that's just the
met
point
with
of your
Joe, I've
using-
been at his house, and I've asked him to do this, and we just
Right,
haven't done it.
and that's the point you're making, that when you use the electric money for the drainage,
Right,
then you gotta go and ask everybody, is it okay?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because we only have 163,000, he's got an electric.
And what
package.
Jane just said on that 163 is that we're gonna have to request to see if they'll
Right.
give it back to us,
Yeah.
because it's there, but it's not there, I
Yeah,
guess.
well,
is
it's
what-
there for electric.
Right, yeah, well, that's true too, the electric, they wanted, the lights was a lot of that
Yeah.
money, right?
That's what all those,
Okay.
the donations,
Okay, well,
you know? So that's an
Have your
ongoing
meeting.
process, so
yeah, have your meeting and see what you guys can come up with.
alright. cameras will be installed tomorrow here with the computer feed to the police department. That's taken care of. Baseball. Helps done. That's it, I'm good.
Okay, thank you, Craig.
I'll check on the Kelly Blue Book of the case from the tire backhoe also.
Okay.
Dave.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go on, and Don Miller, utilities?
No.
Okay. Darren Howell is excused. Purchasing and building, Randy?
Oh,
Okay. Planning, Jane Barco.
All right, we did receive a letter from Ashley yesterday on the computer asking about whether we had heard yet, whether we got the funding or not for phase 2, and we have not heard. I've never gotten a letter here, I haven't got an email, so I don't know. We were supposed to be notified by January, and here it is the middle of February, and we still don't know what the status is of not only the complex phase 2, but also about the truck we applied for. We haven't heard from
Never
either
heard
one.
nothing,
Heather read the letter from the PA Route 6 Alliance. We have belonged to the Alliance since it started, and the Alliance is to encourage development along the Route 6 corridor, which of course starts in Milford, ends up past Erie. And this facade program in other counties has been very successful. I have gone to a couple of meetings in other counties, L County out in the middle, and some other different ones. And the facade program is good. Let's say if you wanted to, at your business, if you wanted to change the front of your building, have it painted, or
you don't like the stuff I just put on, Jay?
well, now, if you can get it matched, so you're a little late, unfortunately.
They still have to go.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go, so.
But like, let's say the Belmont Cafe, if they wanted to change
Thank you,
the
yeah.
front there,
Yeah.
as long as they come up with $4,000 or $5,000, then it will be matched by this program.
Yeah.
And if you go over to Susquehanna County and go to Forest City, you can see the facade program is very successful on Main Street in Forest City. So, anyway, that's that. And the American Rescue Funds, our status to this point. I want to go over this.
Thank you.
The commissioners did send their $30,000. I had sent them copies of some of the bills, so that, and we did get it, right, right, Shelley? As you know, we have $162,825.24. Listed here are the expenditures to date. I listed the American Legion, though we didn't get the bill yet tonight, but he has the bill, I just have to get it from him for the gas boiler. And this is where we are now. We spent $56,069.64. We have some commitments and suggestions. We had the $35,000 matching funds to that 215 to make it 250,000, hoping that would encourage more for phase 2, but it's still unknown. We still owe Tom Shepstone $3,000 or $3,500, and he is going to have a presentation in March. And I don't know whether you guys, he's sitting here, whether you want to have meet a half hour or 45 minutes before a regular meeting or after our regular meeting, or whether you want to have a special meeting, so think about it. He is going to present what has been changed, and also what motions and things that we have to pass to enable us to legally change other ordinances and add to the ordinances. And the Wayside Park, now, first of all, I went over to the ambulance garage, and I need to have this added on the two overhead doors need to be replaced, positively. They are losing a ton of heat, whether they use it or we use it ever. The doors unfortunately were hit by the ambulances 2 or 3 times. They weren't the greatest doors at all. So, I had, northeast doors, I asked for, an estimate. It would be to replace those doors. And, I forgot to bring it with me tonight, but, we're talking about $10,000 to replace the 2 doors. And, they will be fully insulated doors, and they will be, much stronger than the doors that we have on there now. They will work much more, and they include the new, to raise them and lower them. And they suggested that they take out the 2 older ones we have and take them down and put them at the borough garage, because they don't have automatic door, and they could install them down to the garage. So I would like to suggest that this be added onto our list, and then eventually, before summer, replace those doors. Now, does anybody want to comment on this?
So, we own the building, right?
Yes.
So we're in charge of maintenance. Do
Yes.
they pay us rent, or what's
No,
the deal?
they don't, because we're, under the borough code, we're required to, supply,
Ambulance.
just like the fire companies, we're required to have ambulance corps, we're required to have fire, and it just happens that it was available in the garage for it. And it certainly has been a godsend as far as calls, especially this month. I can't even tell you how many times it's come out. And part of the problem is that we are now between Carbondale and Honesdale, and they cover all that territory. And we're in the middle, so they're really using our garage a lot. Now, whether you should charge them rent or not, I'm against it, but if you feel that it should be, we'll have to discuss that. But it is our problem, and in March, we want the folks to paint the garage and paint both garages, our garage and the ambulance garage. And because we do have to maintain them and take care of these things, that they're just gonna get worse. And if you go down, I encourage all of you to go down to the garage right now, our regular garage, and see how faded and bad the garage looks. And walk around the garage and see what I mean about, we need to keep the maintenance up on both of these buildings. We take care of the maintenance next door, but, those 2 things have to be up to date. But that's up to you as far as that, we can discuss that some other time.
But are people stationed there all the time, or?
Not all the time, but.
9 AM to 9 PM, they have a crew Sunday through Saturday.
Yeah,
They were short on staff
Oh, they are.
through the
they're
COVID.
trying to hire more people, they're really, but they have been able to hire a few, but.
Yeah, I didn't know if they just floated back and forth between Center.
No, but
if they
see,
just
that,
stored the car.
we happen to be in the middle, and then
Right.
they're thrilled that we're in the middle with that garage, you know?
And we talked about it once before,
And they
right,
take care of
Jane?
everything, they painted the whole inside,
Yeah.
they cleaned the whole inside, and they take care of all the bills, they pay them.
Utilities and
All
stuff.
the utilities each month, so, you know,
Yeah, I was just wondering, I didn't know
Yeah.
what the deal was, that's all.
I just feel that it's important. Of course, I was in the ambulance corps for 30 years, and I know how important it is to have an ambulance that's.
And it
close.
ran really good when you were there.
Thank
It
you.
really went downhill when you left.
Don't get me, anyway.
But anyway,
Anywho, now, the Wayside Park, I want each of you to look at this. I know our committee did not meet, and, here's one. But yesterday I spent an hour, and I went to Holmesdale, and I met with Jason Wood. Emily is not going to handle this, Jason is going to handle it. Jason is involved right now with 3 other playgrounds, and also he's doing, I'm sure you saw in the paper, he's doing the trail from Holmesdale to Hawley by the railroad, and he's also doing where the people are gonna launch remember where the ambulance store was on Homestead at the industrial park? They're taking down that building, and there's going to be a launch there for tornadoes and that. So he has decided, by talking with them, we've decided to work together on this and use his expertise on the kind of things. Now, you might not agree with everything that I'm going to suggest, but yesterday we spent over an hour and we went all over this map. This is the only big copy of it. I'd like to make it some more copies of it, but I don't have a machine that does it. But what he suggests, because there's 2 grants coming up right now, Heather mentioned the one, the Pocono Mountain. Now that's a small grant. Last year I got $4,000 for the car 43 so that we get a platform. What I'd like to do at this time is apply for, and you have on the back a list of all the, what did I do with those? Anyway, he has a list of the projects and how he would suggest that we do it. The DCED is asking us right now to apply for that, and that's what Mr. Cartwright was talking about in those kind of grants. And he suggested that we go and close off Belmont Street, put in the basketball court, put in the protection there, and go for a couple things that we can put in that area that, like you see on your map here. I'm sorry, some of them are so light. I forgot to order the cartridges last month. And we feel that the kids would use that immediately, the basketball court, and we wouldn't have to lay out a lot for the equipment. And he then further suggested that we use part of the money to apply for the first thing, which would be a board that would have all the different events that are happening in Waymart that we could constantly change and keep the people of Waymart. So he's suggesting that I apply to the Pocono Mountain for which is about $2,000, and apply for that board that we could have, and we could store it away until we're ready to put it up. And eventually we'll put it up by the sign that I bought for my mother and father that says Wayside Park, and put it in that area. Then he is going to add more on to what I have to apply for the tennis, for the basketball court, and we'll see what others he feels that we can apply for at this time. Everything else, the pavilion, also he wants to apply for the handicap parking there in the back where it says PAVE, and it is on the goes to Center Street. But what we're going to do is for us to be able to install all these different kinds of machines and things for kids to climb and all this stuff, we have to close off the Belmont Street. And the best way to do that and get it over with is to put the tennis court in. And
Basketball court.
basketball court, I got tennis on the brain, because I was down there today. So anyway, that's his suggestion. And if you want me to apply for the signage, and also if you want me to work on a grant, which has to be in by next month, and the committee hasn't met, and I apologize the committee hasn't met. But especially, we need to start moving forward on this, and if we could meet sometime this month, I can go over more after Jason sends it to me what he feels we should address first.
Okay, yep, I think go for the grant for the board.
Okay.
Right, and then I'll see about lights there too, then, when I didn't get a price back from, who Grim referred me to,
Well,
Wallace, thank you, Wallace.
This could be part of the grant to apply for the lights.
Okay.
Whatever he suggests.
Okay.
What are the circles on the map?
The equipment. He's suggesting equipment.
Oh, okay.
They had them on a bigger map
Yeah.
one time.
Where are you gonna put 17 trees?
I know, we just cut down trees.
No, I told him that yesterday, but he said if he didn't want trees, he wanted those, just privacy. I also suggested to him that we also have a little bridge across the creek and use that area that's next to the fire company there and put a couple benches in there, but,
Yeah, which would be a nice idea.
Leave it a little pavilion.
yeah. And the pavilion's in bad shape, so I need to talk to Jennifer about that. It's a memory of her husband,
Jane, I have a question. In regards to the basketball, is it just a half court, or is it gonna be a full court? now?
You can see it right there, it's half court.
Okay, I thought it was a half court. And that's
Yes,
what we
it's a half
talked about. Okay. And then we should get a basket that can come down to 8 feet for the younger kids, and then you just
Okay.
put a stick to it, and it goes up to 10 foot if the older
And
kids are.
we eliminated
You know
some,
what's gonna happen with that?
The older kids are gonna take it.
The other kids are gonna take it down to 8.5 feet, and act like Michael Jordan.
Exactly. Leave it
It'll last
alive.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
That room will last 2
Oh, no,
weeks.
hang on.
So what do we do then, stay at 10?
Stay at 10.
Hey, how about?
Go
basketball
9.
courts
There
up
was a
there?
young lady here that
Go
asked several months ago, and she would like an 8-foot basket, but anyway.
Yeah, fire company.
did I,
Yeah, don't forget the fire.
do you have something on the back of yours? The
Oh,
project budget?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was looking for, I forgot the project budget, what we've eliminated already in the project budget is, we eliminated the bathrooms, which are, because we don't wanna be bothered with that, we don't have anybody that's gonna check them every day and let us vandalize the most, I'm sure the firemen could tell you that, is the bathroom. And we also eliminated, the shuffleboard, because everybody said old people like me, but most of all, we don't wanna leave things there that people could come along and throw at each other and hit each other. So unfortunately, I'd love to have that, I'd like to have a cornhole too, but you can't do
The stuff
it.
will disappear.
You'd have to have somebody pick them up at 9 or something. and
That's
call
it,
911,
we just don't have the people
They
to
talk
do
about
that.
that at Farmville.
And, anyway, the ADA is very important, so we have to have that in first, and the basketball court. And, what other grading and things that we might need. So if you wanna look at the project, hold this, and when we have our meeting, folks,
And Donnie.
we'll go over it in more detail.
Oh, okay, okay, that's what you just mentioned.
Yeah, it's all,
That'll help.
it's there, and, he felt that the prices were pretty much in line.
Jane?
I talked about.
No, you didn't, no. Actually, out of the expenditures here, they're all, the only one that's not paid for yet is the gas boiler,
Yes,
and then we're still left with 56,000.
so turn over in the back, this is what's left, $106,765. Of course, we're committed to Tom Shepstone.
Right,
And-
that's right, too, yeah.
You have to decide for this grant, how much we're gonna commit for Wayside Park.
Right, you have
Because
$50,000 there.
Well, that was suggested by,
Okay, it was just for a
Michelle
number.
before she left it.
Okay.
These are just suggestions.
Okay,
We have to decide, then I have to tell Jason 50,000 or whatever, so that we can get matching funds to that.
okay.
So then I could apply for 100,000. So I don't know how many things I can roll in under 100,000 besides the basketball.
Well, I know it needs swings over there of sort,
Yeah.
either for young
But even if we
children
take
or-
50,000 off, then we'll still have, about another 50,000.
Okay.
So Jen, do you need a budget, do you need a motion for the doors, or is that something that
No,
you need more?
but what doors?
The garage doors you mentioned.
Oh, well, I wondered if
Or
if
do you need
anybody
more?
objected or wanted me to go to somebody else to give their prices.
Might need-
Okay, I might need three
Okay.
quotes. So if I had a motion to get 3 quotes, then I would then I would proceed with the MS doors. Or do you wanna wait till next month when I bring the bills in?
Are you okay with waiting until next month?
Yeah.
So you're gonna get, okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, because they're low enough, they don't have to, not over, What is it, 100? Yeah.
Okay, thank you,
So,
Jane.
I'm sorry I talked.
No, that's okay, we needed to hear all that. Okay.
Don't forget the
Oh,
fire.
yeah, I forgot the fire company. You're a hot item today.
Alright, so, for anybody that doesn't know, I'm Jordan, I'm the captain this year for 2023. Matt Swenson with the fire company. Matt's our social media guy. So just a little with the fire company for January, we did 16 calls, we did 8 MVAs, 5 medical calls. We did a gas investigation, Belmont Street, a search assist to PSP on a very bitter cold night for a girl that ran away from the rehab center on top of the mountain. And a telephone pole that rotted out at ground level and fell down behind the Waymart church.
Oh, is that what happened?
Caused a lot of power out and whatnot, another cold night. That's pretty much our calls broken down. Touch base on the siren, the whistle at the fire hall. We are still gonna be doing some tests this week. If you hear it, wind up and wind down real quick. That's just us hitting the manual button. You might also hear it for calls going off. It'll go off 6 times for a call. You guys have there's some printouts that were passed around explaining the weather call, the call button, and just a manual button. Like I said, we're doing some tests throughout the week. We have a guy that's on the fire company that's been going up and lubing everything up. It's hard to get into it because it's a closed unit, so that's what's taking us so long with the test. But otherwise, after that, it's gonna be strictly for more serious calls, MVAs, house fires and whatnot. And then, disaster, weather, tornado, hopefully we don't get no more of them, but in the past we have had. So that's it on the siren. I would say now is we have the most people that we've ever had. We're pushing 30 active members. We're rolling 4 trucks out the door fully stacked with people in them.
It's pretty cool.
David is no longer our fire chief. David is no longer a member with us. He's living in Lake Ariel now with his fiance. So other things, obviously, life got in the way with him. So Josh Ranierson is our fire chief. Tom Derrick is our assistant chief. Our deputy chief position is vacant right now. I'm the fire captain. Cody Tallman's our first lieutenant, and Joe Smith is our second lieutenant. We have 2 active EMTs that are running with us. We've been going on a lot of medical calls. If we hear a medical call, dispatch with Cottage and it sounds serious, we self-dispatch ourselves through the county. Steve Fish and Jim Petnato are very pleased with us doing that. We did it on a CPR call in Keene Lake a couple weeks ago. One day it snowed, we showed up and had the driveway and sidewalk all salted and shoveled for the crew, the EMS crew. So we're working very well with Cottage, EMS, Penn, if they come in, if Cottage is out of service, but mainly Cottage. So with that, the juniors are doing, our junior firemen, we have probably about 8 of them right now. They're doing a fundraiser, a Krispy Kreme sale from today until the 7th of March. Pickup will be at the fire station March 11th. That's something they all came up with the idea. They wanted to do something for themselves. We got a great group of juniors that are, they keep us on our toes every day. They want to learn, very, very much want to learn. They want to go out training. If they could, they'd go out every night. We're doing a lot of different trainings with them between car fires, car accidents, ladder and buildings, what you would have to do on a house fire, and just your normal classes, learning about certain stuff, you know, certain tools on the trucks and whatnot. A lot of in-house training we do. We have a new training officer who came aboard with us. That's one of our new members. His name's Dave. He was a 9/11 FDNY guy. Lives out on 296 North. So Dave's been really good with all of us, teaching us all stuff. The gear washer and dryer that Jane had helped us, you guys had all helped us, is up and running. We got to test it out after Senator Casey's house burned. We washed probably 6 or 8 sets of gear after that fire, and just washing some here and there that hasn't been washed in a while. That works out very well. Again, thank you guys for helping us with that. And on a second note, that's kind of why I'm here tonight, is to see if we could get 15,000 more of the COVID money. We have, every year we try to get new fire gear for our guys, so we're ahead of the game. So it's, we get a couple sets every year. And we have 2 sets that we're looking to get. The price for them is right around $10,000 once you add everything. That's fully fitted from head to toe. Your helmet, your coat, your pants, your boots, the Nomex hood that you wear, and 2 sets of gloves, one for car accidents, one for house fires, because they're 2 different gloves. It's right around 10,000, and our juniors, the 8 juniors we have or whatever, we're looking to replace 10 junior helmets. The helmets they wear are out of date, so we're looking to replace them. So it was like roughly right around 15 grand. The cost of gear that I have on here is for 2 other people that we got fitted, but the price may change depending on size. My gear is more than what his might be, or if you were to get gear, it'll go up and down. So that's what we're looking at. I have a printout of the prices if anybody would like to see it, and that's what we came for, to see if we could get that from the COVID or the American Rescue.
Yes. That's what it's called, American Rescue, but you're right, it really came under the COVID. Well, I certainly,
Well, if we get rid of the basketball court for $29,000, never gonna give them more.
I'm looking for something to do on my lunch hour, and I was thinking a basketball court would be good for me. Okay?
He's not gonna be
Yeah,
one of the guys
ambulance.
jumping on the
Just
rim.
He won't be jamming, don't worry.
Just go to the ambulance buildings around the corner, doesn't mean they're there all the time. Alright? You're our big toe, we need you.
Thanks.
even if we give the park 50,000, we still have 50,000 left.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have a request coming up from maintenance, Earl, in regards to the lawnmower and all that, which I'm gonna go over on new
Okay.
business, okay?
And of course, the doors.
And
Just ask him something. When you got those quotes, and I don't know if this falls under it, but did you ask if any of that equipment would fall under co-stars?
Co-stars?
Co-stars, we belong to, it's like a state partnership where they try to find the best, they buy things in bulk, and then you can get things at a cheaper price. I don't know though, there's tons of things on there.
This is coming right from our sales rep that we use for all of our personal protective equipment, which is MES Fire.
maybe
Our
they're
sales rep
It
is,
should be a vendor, that could be one of the
I
vendors.
can call tomorrow and ask
maybe there's an
co-stars.
affiliation.
MES is it called?
yeah.
What does that mean?
MES is Municipal Emergency Services. It's a company, they're out of Berwick, they're statewide really, but our sales rep is John Zagarski, he's from Berwick, PA.
You need this?
No, that one we could keep.
Municipal,
Here, we'll just give you this.
Municipal Emergency Services,
oh, okay.
and they're actually out of Poughkeepsie, New York, the main office is. But that's who we go through, we use certain, we all have the same exact fire gear, all of us. Like, we don't go and buy different brands, it's usually we stay with the same brand, so we're all the same.
Uniform.
Yeah,
Well, maybe they're involved with that, what Shelley was talking about possibly, then we're gonna save money, or you're gonna save money when you need stuff, or when we
If
go.
you're
And roughly, that's what the cost is for fire gear right now, it's like $5,000 to fully outfit somebody.
Okay.
And that's, I mean, you go on the fire store and look at, on the firestore.com, you're gonna get it right around the same ballpark. So I mean, absolutely check into what you guys go through. If we could save money, I'm all for it.
yeah. Ask him also if they belong. I will call tomorrow, but ask him. He should know immediately whether they belong to it or not.
Okay.
Co-stars. And just the way, it's spelled just that way, COSTARS.
Okay, we good?
We have to buy the equipment, by the way, too, to do Cold Stars.
Okay.
And Jason knows how to do that, Jason Wood, so.
Oh, okay, cool, good.
Anything we have to purchase, we purchase through that program.
Okay, excellent.
Does this have to be bid?
No, because it's low enough.
It's over 11,800 though.
It would, yeah, depending on like if it went over that, we would need 3 telephone
Yeah.
poles.
Well, like the tennis, or the, why do I keep saying tennis court? The basketball court would, because that's cement.
Oh, no,
Fire
not
equipment.
that stuff, like I'm talking about the fire equipment.
No.
Just- Yeah, this is like a contract, like
Yeah.
we're buying all that stuff through, it's like one project,
Right.
so that would be.
So they would need 3 quotes for the fire company
Fire.
equipment.
15,000, yeah.
Yeah.
The quotes are
I
good.
believe that's true.
Anything above that?
I think the
He's
next
right,
break is around
11,800
20,000.
is the
Yeah.
threshold.
Threshold, okay.
After that, then you have to get bids.
Okay. All right, are we done with what
So
we're
Jordan,
right there with it?
if you get more, do you want Jordan to get bids?
Yeah, you,
Then
I
they
just
get bids.
texted John,
let me check
Also.
to see if
Okay.
under CoStars, and then I'll check with Jason tomorrow to see if it's purchased under CoStars, if we need 3 bids, I don't know. I don't, cause I just don't know.
But that's for the playground, for the,
Yeah.
their equipment, their fire company equipment.
Yeah,
There may not be 3 companies out there making.
Right,
that's right, it might be a specialized, and then that has a different category.
Okay.
I have a question while the fire guys are still here.
and yes, Jane, to answer your question, MES is a part of CoStars.
Good,
Oh, good, there you go.
yeah, you saved me,
There you go, yeah, yeah.
Yep, John Zagarsky just texted me that.
super.
And we talk probably twice a week between us and the officers with
Okay,
him.
good.
Everybody in the audience and council, are you getting letters from Lake Area Fire Company?
Yes.
Yes.
Why? Are
And
we-
Brompton.
Why are we, I got them twice within 2 months.
Yes.
Does Waymart Fire Company send,
Nope. We send to Canaan, we send to Clinton, South Canaan, Waymart Borough. And I think that's pretty much it, all the rural
where you
route.
cover?
Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cause we're dual dispatch with Clinton Township with Browndale.
Well, Brompton will
Brompton comes to Waymart,
Right.
but they don't come to Waymart as a dual dispatch. They come to Waymart because that's our box plan with the county. If there's an automatic alarm somewhere, our box alarm has more trucks on it, because again, we're in the age now that there's not many volunteers. So the more people coming, I'd rather have more people coming than not enough there if something does happen. Because an automatic alarm might not be an automatic alarm when we get there. It could be flames pouring out the roof, for all we know. But they're only on because that's our box alarm. We don't send our stuff to Brompton, we don't send our stuff to Lake Township, to the hideout, stuff like that. I was concerned with the same thing, I had talked to you about it when Brompton sent theirs out.
Also,
Yeah, I think everybody in town got at least 2 letters from Lake Area.
Right, can't you
big
call those
mailing.
chiefs and say,
That's a big mailing.
you're breaking protocol, do you want us to send letters to your people too? What kind of training?
So how does that work exactly? Like,
They could do it,
That's
but
the
you could do
only
it
issue.
too, so it'd be a gentleman's agreement.
That's a
Why don't you
big
stop
mailing
doing
list.
that? Otherwise, we're gonna start sending letters out to your constituents.
because I know like we work very well with our mutual aid departments, Sealyville, Holmesdale, Brompton, Lake Ariel, Browndale. We work very well with them, like the chief of Waymart's good friends with, all the chiefs are good friends.
I think it's as simple as a phone call to their chief to say, why are you sending letters over here to our people? We need their money here in town. If you're gonna do that, would you like it if we sent letters over to everybody at Lake Erie?
Okay.
Just
I
kind
think it's that simple.
Yeah.
But fortunate.
That's a lot of money too, to send out all those letters.
It's a
And
big mailing, those are big
Yeah.
letters.
I
Those are
know,
not-
that was, I
Yeah,
couldn't
they're not
believe
regular
how,
mail.
how professional, I thought, I wonder what the printer is, whether it's small.
Well, Lake Ariel has a big fund drive for a new firehouse going up, and they do have a they have a professional company doing the work for them.
So,
So
I
that's it.
have a feeling that's what happened.
Well, that's what it is. There
Yeah.
was a big article in the paper about it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Dave, thank you, guys. We're gonna move on to unfinished business, any unfinished business?
Whatever
Well,
happened,
lights are still out at Welcome to Waymart. Both lights are still out.
I'm gonna look at that for you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
Whatever happened to the cinder shed? Can't be there.
The materials are.
the material shed for the salt,
Notice I didn't say that word.
Don't say that you said that word before, and I almost
he
threw.
said
I
nothing.
almost threw a buck at
That's
you.
why we say materials.
You don't say that
That's right, I
four-letter
didn't say
word.
that
Can't
word.
use the word salt.
Not that four-letter word, no.
Okay.
no,
But
that's the word they're using.
No, tell me, you must be better than I. I must be a terrible person. I cannot get Jeff Weinberger to answer me. I have sent him a long letter on my phone about why we should get this settled. And I called him last night, and I called him today, and he won't pick up the phone.
Who's he? What's his?
That's Gary putting on his son-in-law, he married Gary's daughter.
Yeah, but what's his whole?
Our engineer.
He's an engineer.
He's the engineer,
Yeah.
There's the.
Okay.
and he's the one that proposed that we get a building that's all built and everything, prefab. And he did it all, and so I don't feel I can change in the middle of the stream to another.
Let me try to hook up with him then.
I just,
I thought we
he
already
has to
had
meet
this.
with Canaan Township and get the conditional use, which would be just a letter from Canaan Township saying that they allow us to put it in back of the garage. That's all we're asking. And the people on the authority were objected to it, so they'd rather have the stuff sitting on the ground than inside of a building? Does that make any sense at all? No? So,
It doesn't make any
I don't
sense.
understand what the whole problem is, but.
And when you applied, you said that when you applied, you put down right where it had to be
Oh,
placed?
yes.
Because you did tell me
And the
that.
council all voted yes?
Uh-huh.
No problem, people sitting here were on the authority at that time, nobody objected.
Well, I
Unanimous.
can give Jeff a call and try to get him, and if we can, maybe we should set up a meeting with the sewer authority to go over, and I'll go over with you.
Oh, God, I don't think I wanna meet with the
Is
sewer
Is there any
authority
tension
again.
there, Chip, between the sewer authority and the borough about this?
Last time we heard about it, and Jane will remember this, she came with Lillian. And that has to be a year ago.
Yes.
And it's all on this Jeff.
Weinberg. It's not- The ball is in his court.
The both
All
engineers weren't hitting.
All he has to do is meet with the Canaan. It's just like when I had so much trouble with him before. Shows up on the last day at my house. We sit there and did it.
In his defense, I don't think he charges us, right?
No, but and I begged him to give us a bill.
I know.
And we came up with a price when Lil was on, because we came up with a
Yes.
$50 to $75 radius in regards to paying him per hour. And we did let him know that, so.
And I have said that to him many times. Just send us a bill.
If he's too busy, well, maybe we can find somebody to pay.
Well-
We'll be happy to pay him, but
If you're gonna contact me, or whoever contacts him, say, if you can't do it, recommend somebody that can carry out your plan.
Yeah.
Cause we have the money.
Or else we'll have to find
But
another
the
engineer.
problem-
Now, that's part of this, right?
No, that's a separate bid, a separate grant I got. under
Oh, it is?
No, that was the DCED grant. And that,
Is that gonna expire?
I talked to the guy in Harrisburg and he gave me 2 years.
From when?
Well, when I talked to him, it was
3 years
about.
ago.
That's why I asked.
Okay,
We still have about a year.
yeah, okay.
But
We
I
have
didn't
about a year and a
want to do
half.
it to the council before, because I thought, that'll give them another excuse to drag their feet, not do it, you know?
Spring's right around the corner.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is, yeah, it is, yeah, it is.
he said they've had so much trouble in Harrisburg with the grants because of
Poor Harrisburg.
our presidents. Everything is so out of cost of what it costs. Now, $64,000 I got. But are we gonna have to throw in another $10,000 or $12,000?
Oh, absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely.
You know,
Stuff's gone up 20%,
that's
30%.
it. That's why the sooner we get out to bid, the better. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, concrete's $110 a yard now, I think.
Oh, God.
You gotta put up a concrete floor with barrier size.
I don't even.
I believe that, I
Yes.
believe that you're right.
It's a
there.
concrete floor,
Yeah.
and it purposely is, the way it is, so that nothing does seep out of the building. It's a perfect, it really, in what he said, what he proposed, of course, there's one thing I didn't agree with him on. I wanted to do like they did at Allendale. Have you ever seen their building out
Yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Because I think they have 2 entrances. I felt we should have 2 entrances, so that if they load it up, they could go out another entrance. No, but he didn't have, he.
Didn't have enough room.
There's not enough room.
No, not enough room. Even Leroy's rooting against you on that one.
One in and out, that's it, that's all you need. You don't
Yeah.
even get a back one.
Well, anyway, that's what's there, and that's what,
Okay.
and as I said before, we have to follow what we put down. 0. I can't change anything at this point.
Okay.
Maybe I could paint a pin though. Then I could do something.
Hate to bring up a sore subject, just wondering.
It's not a sore subject, I'm glad you brought it up.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
Oh.
everything we're talking about tonight, we need to, it's been a while and, under new business, anybody got new business? I just have one request, and it's from, Earl Granville went up to, where'd he go here now? He went up to, where did you recommend? Oh, here it is, Marshall Machinery. Yeah?
You said Earl Granville?
Earl Granville's always on my mind. Earl, I'm sorry.
I was wondering what you were, what was he talking
I
about?
had his hat on today. He's a good guy, Earl Granville. He's doing a great job. But anyway, he got him from Marshall Machinery, Earl.
Earl Vitton?
Earl Vinton, thank you. And Kubotas were what he was looking at. So for a new Kubota with a new blades and all that underneath, the undercarriage, is $4,500 they'll give us for the old tractor, okay? And they'll give us that for a trade-in. They want $16,050.20 minus that $450, so it's $11,550.20 for a brand new Kubota machine. And that'll take attachments and everything like the other one does a little bit. And then he wanted, but that's already at that mark at 11,000. Then he was looking at just for a snow blower, I believe, tractor, and then you add the snow blower on. The snow blower is an extra $6,974. So we're looking, and then he was thinking about a broom, so that if.
Anything else?
Well, I did tell him that Grimm's do the streets really nice for us with their help, with their employees. This is just a request. We don't have to do, we can do what we want to do, but we thought if there's, she was talking about, we want to use the Biden counterfeit money to get some of this done and use it all, so that we don't end up giving any back. We'll use it for what we can.
Is this part of the
Yeah.
fake money?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know about this.
No, he just got this to me, and I didn't have it last month, so that's what he's looking for. Tractor with a mower, new mower deck, new tractor, Kubota, $11,550. And then the snow blower would be another $6,974, which is $18,524. And then the broom was $4,108. And that would come out total $21,604 for all of that.
For a
Now-
lawnmower.
Huh?
For a lawnmower.
It's one of those tractors. It's a Kubota. Yeah. It's not just a lawnmower. It will take attachments to it, but we'd end up probably buying the attachments.
What?
Over time.
Heels, does he?
Well, yeah, because he does the field.
Should we check with the Bobcat dealer down here?
You know what, Eugene, no.
He does the Bombos, he finally comes all the way up to my house.
No, we didn't check.
He cuts the sides.
We would, yeah, you're right again, on what he said, okay.
No, but he, yeah, but that's up the
We
street.
have now, he said he's gonna have a job.
But I'm talking about the field from my house.
$9,000 bond
He
charge.
does along the railroad.
Bobcat makes a lot of money, though.
I don't think they make any
So they'll give them
But Bob
four
Wilson
cells.
has
They'll
to
be
be
compact, compact.
Even if we get them this to start
No, because this is,
with the mower deck and the mower deck, 'cause that, he said that's probably.
Yeah.
Over in the fall.
so that, and that has to be.
You know, you gotta take it easy with that stuff, but, that's what he asked me to put in for, and whatever you can do for him, so.
Well, between the door, the tractor, and the fire department, that's $46,000. $50,000 for the park, that's $96,000. We're on money.
Now, I'd like to,
Move out, it's 6,000 change.
I'd like to point out that we need to spend the money that's in our budget
That's
too.
what I'm trying to.
Because if you don't spend the money in the budget, how can we justify next year a new budget with that amount of money in, and we
Yeah.
never spent it the year before?
We are not having problems spending money, that's for sure.
No, but this is money you need to spend, or else you may end up giving it back to whoever.
Well, we're gonna get rid of all this, but you also to be very aware that we should spend every penny that's in our budget. The people at Waymart are gonna say, hey, they got all this money left over. They didn't spend any because they don't realize that we're spending it on this program.
Or you're all getting reelected for being so cheap.
3 people on council have to
Well, you
run
are,
this year.
I think the police that are saving us money tonight too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Good point, Shelley.
Some.
but we should take our budget and figure how
So,
much we're gonna take out of
He
our
goes a
budget.
rainy day. I'm a rainy day guy, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
it's not gonna rain tomorrow, but anyway. At least not tomorrow, they said, but, yeah, we'll just, if we can put this out there, and then we'll look at it when the 3 quotes come in. We need 3 quotes, and I'll look to get them. And then if you only wanna buy the tractor and the mow deck, then that would be like, I think it was $11,550.
Lawnmowers don't come with mowing decks anymore.
What's that, Don?
Can't hear it.
You gotta buy the mowing decks separately anymore. Buy-
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and that's why he had a separate price there for it, and then the attachments, they had it on the other 2 sheets.
Fiscally, we're doing good, right, in our borough.
Well, yeah, we will.
Oh, it's only February.
I mean, we have the ESSER money in that, yeah. But you do have to keep a fund balance. You do have to keep money in your
Right.
fund balance because if you have some catastrophic event, where are you gonna get the money from?
A rainy day.
Yeah. And also too,
That's how they're justifying our state having $5 billion
so that's,
for the rainy fund. That's a nice little.
Okay. Well, if we don't use it all, we have to give money back, then we're coming after
We'll
those
spend
rainy
it all.
day. Tax refund.
Well, when we run out of money, we run out of money, you know?
Bricks are just bad.
Is that how that works?
Don't mislead the audience, we're not gonna run out of your money. We're gonna run out of Biden's money, and he just keeps spending it every day.
I was just thinking
I
that.
make a motion, we adjourn.
Oh, wait a
Second that
minute,
motion.
wait a minute, can I say something before you leave?
Mary,
I wanna make a complaint as a citizen, I won't take long. No, I'm serious. The bridge next to my office, about 10, 12 years ago, the state came underneath and cleared all the stuff away when Mr. Spiewak owned the building behind my office. And my office used to flood, Mr. Spiewak's office, well, it is now packed again. That bridge underneath, there is like this much room. And I also know that it is the state's responsibility to do it. The state does that, and they come in and they clean it, but you guys have to request them to clean that out. I know they're replacing the bridge because I got notices about they might take my building. I got all that, but they still, it needs to be addressed because there's this. If we get a big rain in the springtime, you're going to have flooding. So I don't know who's in charge of that.
That's a roads.
It's a roads guy.
That's the,
We gotta get Donnie something. You're right, Greg.
Is somebody gonna let Shane know that then? You'll take care of that? You'll let Shane know about that? Or-
Thank you.
But, what word should I bring up? 'Cause you can't
You'd rather do it before.
I made a motion.
do it, not do it.
What?
Greg.
No, it's just
We need
the,
a second motion. We need a second motion. Second.
I know, that's just,
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
you'll have to talk to Craig, because he's the one who got it done.